Hey, what's up guys? I'm going to show you some of the best fully licensed resources that I use, both free and paid, for getting the best stock imagery and fonts to use in all of my commercial work. So it's super important for us as designers to use assets that have been sourced both legally and fairly. Using copyrighted images or images from an existing IP or another designer's work is like super bad practice, especially if you then go on to sell the artwork that you've used the ill-gotten assets in. Not only is it unfair on the client who then won't be able to use the artwork, nobody wants to wake up in the morning and check their emails and see a cease and desist sitting there, you know, but it's also unfair to yourself. Most established designers are going to be able to see straight away that you've used like stolen assets, and your credibility is going to be out the window. Then they'll likely never want to connect with you, never want to collab with you, and never want to share around your work. My buddy Tim Min, who is an absolutely amazing designer by the way, he was telling me that some of the bigger design channels on YouTube are putting out information that it's okay to use images you found on Pinterest in your work. That blew his mind, and it blew my mind as well, because it's unbelievably incorrect. You're essentially just stealing another artist's work and then passing it off as your own. But there's plenty of amazing stock websites out there, and we're going to look into them now. But just keep in mind, Pinterest is a mood board and inspiration site. It's not a stock site. So as a graphic designer or a photo manipulator, we use assets that were created by somebody else. They pump so much time and skill into designing these resources, so it's only fair that they get paid for their work and their expertise, which in turn makes our job easier and gets us paid. So when we're paying for the license to use stock imagery or a font in our work, we're paying the creator, and it keeps the wheel turning. But if you're not in a position to pay for fully licensed assets yet, then don't worry, because there's an abundance of amazing resources and fonts that have been made very kindly free for us online. You just have to know where to look for them. So with that, let's jump right in, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites that will hopefully help. So first up, we'll look at some free stock image sites. We're going to move on to some paid ones after, but I'll show you the free resources first. So this one here I think is a bit of a hidden gem.
Hidden gem, this one.
This is Pixabay. I used to use this one a lot before I started paying for my assets, but there's still some absolute bangers on here. So let's just try this. I just typed in Cyberpunk there and I put 3D afterwards. I often put 3D in my search on this site because as a royalty free image site, it has a lot of AI nonsense in it. But you can kind of like swim your way through the dregs of that and find the good stuff. So let's just see what we get here. And straight off the bat, like, look at this. That's absolutely unreal. Look at this like demon, this like cyberpunk looking bird. The tank in the background, this is all free. And if we go over here to details, this is 4K. So you can use, like, this is just an example. Like, let's see what else there is. You can use this in all your work, both commercial and personal. Like, this is gnarly as well. Actually, no, look at this one. What is that? That's so sick. Look at all these, like the HUD and the assets and stuff. So there you go, Pixabay, all of it's free. Dig in there. As I said, it can be kind of hard to find the good stuff, but it is lurking there in the shadows, believe me. Right, next up we got Unsplash. I think a lot of people know Unsplash and Pexels. They're really good for more basic stock imagery. Again, this is all free. You have the license to use it in all of your commercial work. But let's just see what we type in. We'll just say, like, I don't know, skeleton. Boom, straight away. Like, I think Unsplash has more gnarly stuff than Pexels, especially if you're looking for a bit more meaner medieval looking stuff. Like, look at the detail on this. Free. Use that in all your work. But yeah, let's try something else. Like, we'll say like warrior. Oh, look at that. Dungeon synth much? You know what I mean? There is amazing stuff that you can find if you just have a little bit of a dig in there. Next up, we have another kind of like unknown gem here. This is great for like sort of frames and all illustrations and stuff. It's Wikimedia Commons. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure copyright law is like after 120 years of something being created, it becomes public domain and it's license free. And I also think if something has been copyrighted, it's like 95 years and then it becomes public domain. And that obviously means artwork and photography and stuff. So Wikimedia Commons has like all of that stuff in there. So we'll just say, I don't know, medieval weapons, maybe? Medieval weapon. See what we get. Unreal. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is like museum pieces and stuff. And look at this. You'd absolutely brain someone with that. But it's a lot of like museum stuff. but you can find really cool, gnarly looking metal stuff to use in all of your work, like textures and stuff. Up next we got another great one. This was actually sent into the Scrap Heap Discord by one of the members in there. This is the British Library's Flickr account, and all of this stuff is license free. Again, I think this stuff sort of falls under the copyright law, as in it's like old enough to be public domain and you can use it in anything you want. So we'll just go through here. I think there's like a million images you can go through. We'll see if there's anything. Like the architectural stuff will always be cool, but ghosts and ghoulish scenes. Let's see what we get. Look at these gnarly skull like illustrations. Imagine putting like an old Xerox filter over that. Or this one, look at that. That's lovely. I mean, the more you go through it, the more creepy the stuff gets, and you will find like amazing stuff that like jumps out at you. Like, what is that thing? More skulls. I'd say there's loads of like sick like anatomical drawings from the museums and newspaper cutouts and stuff. I don't know what that is, but it's terrifying. Yeah, big thumbs up. I can't remember who actually put this in the Scrap Heap Discord, but thank you, legend. Right, here we got another hidden gem. This is a bit tricky though, because you have to select the correct licenses in order to be able to use it, and a lot of time you have to give credit to the creator. But basically Sketchfab is like a database of 3D models where people create 3D models and they put them up and share them, and you can buy some, or there's, as I said, there's a lot of free stuff. So let's just dig in here, and what we say, just like night for example. Now this is important, right? You go over here to licenses and see where it says any. That means like these ones are paid, you know, like 20 quid for this little skeleton lad. He looks like something out of a Ray Harryhausen film. But if you go over here, right, author must be credited, commercial use is allowed. Author must be credited, modified versions have the same license, commercial use is allowed. Commercial use is allowed. Author must be credited, no commercial use, so we're not going to click that one. No commercial use, no commercial use. Credit is not mandatory, commercial use is allowed, so we're definitely going to click that one. That's the best. And free standard, under basic restrictions, used worldwide on all types of media, commercially or not, and in all types of derivative works. So for example, that's basically got us covered. Now we'll have to make sure, you know, whether we need to credit the author or not, but you can do that in your Instagram post. Say you use some of this in a piece, you just say, hell yeah, the night dude was made by such and such. So we'll just scroll in here and I'll show you how to use it, like see if there's anything nice. Whoa, that is gnarly. But that's from Doom, see, that's from an existing IP, can't use that. I'm pretty sure this is from Dark Souls, so you can't use that. But yeah, this one looks pretty cool. So this has been created by somebody, just this like gnarly knight, and you can basically go in here and like look at the all the detail on the armor, and oh, I didn't even see this. Look, that shield is sick. But we can go in here into Model Inspector, turn off post processing so you don't get any of the glow or anything on it. You can see the textures a lot. This is a really nice model. For example, you could take out the swords or the belt, you could cut that out, you could use the helmet, you can pose it nicely, you know what I mean? Download it to blend, or download it and open it in Blender and pose it in there and export it as a PNG. But Creative Commons, so I'm pretty sure this is free to use. So there you go, Sketchfab, big thumbs up. Now we'll move on to the paid assets. Obviously I'm gonna shill Envato Elements because I use it non-stop. Honestly, this is probably the only stock site that you need to pay for, because like, look all the stuff you can get in it. Video, templates, music, sound effects, graphic templates, graphics, presentation templates, fonts, photos, add-ons, web templates. 3D is what I like to use the most. But for example here, post-apocalyptic, we'll say. See if we can get anything nice out of this. We'll say photos. Straight away, like, look at these dudes. Look at this, like, absolute, like, amazing stuff. You know, like, look at this dude, for example. Look at the weapon on him. Like, you could cut that out and use it, or even the armor actually, or the shotgun shells. Like, there's just so much good stuff on here. And here, before we move on, we'll have a little look at the 3D models. Sticking with the medieval scene, we'll say medieval weapons. And look how savage this is. Like, Look at this. And you can go in your 3D render. Once this loads, you can spin it around, and then you can export it as a PNG or a PSD. You know what I mean? It's so handy. Like, look at this battle axe. Even like the textures and stuff on this stuff is just unreal. So yeah, can't recommend Envato Elements enough. Now we're going to move on to Shutterstock, which has some absolutely amazing stuff in here. The only problem is it's a little bit expensive. I think it's like $30 for a month maybe, but you have to buy it in like a yearly subscription, and in a month you only get 10 downloads. But I swear to Jesus, there's like, say Mech Warrior, there's some amazing stuff on here. Like straight off the bat, look at this. Look at the weapons and stuff on that. This is all licensed. Like, you can use it in anything you want. You can photo bash it. You could just put a texture on it and stick it on a t-shirt, like no bother. I swear there's some absolute bangers on Shutterstock. Of course, as you can see, it's got a lot of this like the plague of AI is really seeping into a lot of these sites. But if you're smart, you can avoid it. And like, I think I've even used this dude in a piece of art before. And the resolution is so high that you can go all the way in there, and you can take out, say, just those like pistons and pipes and stuff and photo bash it into something else. Unreal. Now, I'm pretty sure Pixel Squid is a subsidiary of Shutterstock. It might be a little bit cheaper, but it's basically, you know, the 3D assets in Envato Elements, it's like that, but it's owned by Shutterstock. So we could say like Demon or something. I'll have a little look-see in here and see what we get. And like, there's just a wealth of stuff. I'm pretty sure some of these assets are on Envato as well, but I haven't seen this one. Look at this guy, he looks like the devil out of like Dave Grohl in Tenacious D's video. Pretty sure I've seen this on Envato Elements. That's pretty cool. It's like Osiris, no, Isis, sorry, it says Isis right there. But yeah, Pixel Squid could be a cheaper alternative to Shutterstock, but as I said, a lot of the stuff is on Envato Elements. But listen, these stock designers are getting paid for their work, because they obviously get paid by Envato or Pixel Squid to upload their stock art onto the website. And finally, for the stock imagery, I have to shout out Neostock. My buddy Dean, who runs this company, is an absolute legend. They shoot a lot of this in-house in their studio. Now you can go and look, sci-fi, cyberpunk, it's all classified. I've used this one, Pippa, in the armor. I've used this armor in some different projects before, and they also have like CG body packs. I'm pretty sure I've used this one as well for something, because I absolutely love that armor. But also, it's not just like full bodies, they've got add-ons and stuff as well. Like, look at this. These are some of the best weapons I've ever seen. These 3D models are absolutely amazing. Actually, this one is my favorite. Look at this like railgun. Like, these are pretty cheap. You pay per image, so like I think it's like $1 or $2 to like buy this. For example, it is $2.50, which is like peanuts. And there's plenty of poses. I can't recommend it enough. Also, another really good thing they have is this texture library. I'm pretty sure Dean and his wife went out around London and took all these pictures and also made all these textures themselves. So big thumbs up for Neostock. I recommend them, support them. It's an amazing site. Now we're going to move on to fonts, and everybody knows like Da Font and these sort of sites, so I'm going to show you some of my favorites, sort of hidden gems. This one in particular, Urban Fonts, I don't think it gets enough recognition because there is so much good stuff on this. So for example, we'll just type in Old English and see what we come up with, because it's a lot more than just the same old that you see on all the free sites. Now these ones are like, you purchase them, a lot of the ones on the start, but like, look, 15 pages of free fonts. And you know, instead of going in and like stealing somebody's logo and tracing over it to make your metal logo, like, use a font like this. Look at this one, Bastarda. Like, it looks amazing. What we say, like, obviously Spearhead. That's unreal. It looks like, you know, the Borgias or like the Medici or something. I love that. You obviously get like a lot of different, that one's actually pretty sick, a lot of different styles, but just for an example, I'm showing you some of the Old English ones here. look, you got all these like Factura, more like black leather, German black leather style. Let's see what's at the back. That one's pure metal looking, isn't it? Metamorphose. Minnesota Winter. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on a heap of hardcore posters and merch. But yeah, Urban Fonts, really recommend it. Sort of a hidden gem. So here's another one. Some of you might know about this 1001 fonts. It's kind of like the font, but there's a lot better stuff on here. There is paid stuff on it as well, but you can click on this commercial free little button which will only show commercial fonts or free licensed fonts that you can use. So for example, let's just say like Cyberpunk and see what we get. And like straight away, like this one is pretty damn nice. This one is really nice. It's a little mental, but I actually really like that. Kind of has that sort of futuristic vibe. But let's see what we get with Old English. Obviously, of course, Old English. English Town, absolute banger. Einfell is a pretty good one as well. It's sort of like a Caslon antique, but free. So yeah, I really recommend digging through 1001 fonts. Just remember to click that little commercial free button and have fun. Here's another one that's kind of free. Well, it is free if you pay for your Adobe subscription, but yeah, if you pay for your Adobe subscription, you get Adobe fonts, and this has all like your standard classics. I'm talking like, you know, the big name sans serif families and stuff, but it also has a few little cuties in here. Like for example, like you have this little trending now thing. You can see what kind of nice stuff there is. Like that one looks pretty cool, nice big display font. But what I use this for is like the big font foundry fonts. Like, so for example, like Eurostyle, which is used on like all the 90s hardcore. Eurostyle Extended, like look at this is such a classic, this font. Let's just type in Spearhead in caps. Bring the size down a bit. I guarantee you've seen that font on so much Youth Crew merch and Power Violence merch and stuff. So Adobe fonts, if you got it, use it. Now I'll give a little shout out to myself, because I give out a lot of free fonts in my Spearheads goodie bag. I think there's 4 or 5 in there. I haven't looked at it in a while, but please feel free to download it at the link in the description. You can use it in all your projects, commercial and personal. Just give me a little like and subscribe, and yeah, have fun, dig in. Now this site is absolutely amazing. I've been using this since I was in college. It's called Fonts in Use. Now while it doesn't give you downloads for fonts, if you see like a poster or like a book cover or something, or just like a font out in the wild, you know, you can really sort of use this to find out what it is. So for example, like my dad has a load of like old horror books like Stephen King and you know, with those classic 70s like covers on them. And I see a lot of these fonts and I'd want to use them, but I wouldn't know what they are. So like you can actually just see here, for example, it'll show you like, you know, these like old HP Lovecraft like covers. For example here, the Monster Squad. Look at this Quadrata 2. I'm pretty sure I have this font, but it's called Citadel. Oh, there we go. Look, Moria Citadel. Citadel Miniatures used it for the Warhammer stuff. And actually, look, there we go. But yeah, I'm sure Quadrata 2 might be the original one. And it gives you, as I said, information on it, and then you can go look up where to find it, if you can get a free one or not with commercial license. So fonts in use, really useful. Now we'll move on to the paid font resources. Again, Envato Elements, I can't recommend it enough. Be sure to use my link in the description if you want to like jump in and get started with this. But if we go up here and click on fonts, what will we say? Like Cyberpunk again, sure, why not? Cyberpunk, and see what comes up. And oh, look at that one. That is a nice font. So with your Envato Elements subscription, you get the licenses to all of these things. That one is actually sick as well. And it's not just, you know, like these like, oh, look at this. It's not just these sort of like cyberpunk fonts and stuff. Like if we type in like Gothic, for example, it'll give us like Cambridge is a lovely font. I've used that before in a tutorial video. That one, Cathedral, that's a very nice font. And also, oh yeah, look at this. So this has like a load of metal fonts. If you are not great at drawing metal logos and stuff and you want to use like just a straight up like metal font, for example this one, what's it called, Dreamfire, that's a pretty nice looking font, you know what I mean? Oh, it also has glyphs. Look at these like glyphs and stuff as well. So yeah, that's very handy. Actually, do you know, this could also be useful as well, like if you wanted to like make a metal logo and just have like, that's kind of old school looking. If you want like a basis for like your letters to get started on, and then draw over. I actually quite like this one. What's it called? What's the name of this? Rusuk. Yeah, so Envato Elements has a lot of pretty damn cool stuff in there. I highly recommend getting started because it'll just make your life so much easier. Now again, on the paid side of things, Creative Market, you might know about this. I use this the odd time, just if there's, you know, like a little assets pack of like icons or stuff that I want. But for example, let's just like check out some of the fonts we got here, because there is some really nice stuff up here. So let's just say, what's kind of cool now? Y2K. Ooh, I like that one. Ergo Y2K. $15 for the license, which ain't too bad. That is so nice. Imagine chroming that bad boy up. So yeah, Creative Market is really good if you want just like a random asset pack or something that you can't find anywhere else. Just drop like 10-20 quid, you'll get some good stuff. Now I want to give a bit of a shout out here to this amazing type designer called Legacy of Defeat. I have bought this guy's packs before, like the Cyberpunk pack is amazing. These are pretty damn cheap as well, like he's not ripping anybody off. Like look at this Harbinger font, this is gorgeous. And how much is it? Let's see. Can we buy it? 5 quid for this absolute beauty. Let's see what else he's got knocking around the foundry. Yeah, some of these are damn cool. Ooh, look at this one. This is like sort of a skater, like Venice Beach, Suicidal Tendencies job. I really like that. So yeah, Legacy of Defeat, they're amazing fonts. I've got so many of them. And finally, if you want to support me, you can buy my fonts. If you want to grab my font pack, it's in the link in the description. So I hope that was helpful. If you want to see more videos like this where I dig into sort of resources and assets, just shout in the comments below. Again, if you want to support me, you can grab my assets pack at the link in the description, or you can use my link for a nice Envato Elements subscription. But yeah, as designers, we always got to strive to be better. It's always good to use license free or license bought assets for our work, because at the end of the day we're reselling this stuff. So it's really not good to be stealing other people's work or just scouring through Pinterest and just taking every image you see, chopping that up and passing it off as your own. It's really not cool. So big love guys, best of luck with all of your artwork, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.